Welcome to the Nitty Gritty of Real Estate podcast. We're going to be talking about iBuyers today. Hi, Tom. Thanks for joining us today to talk to us about iBuyers.
You're welcome, Jill. I'm glad to be here.
Great. Well, can you start by helping us out? We hear about iBuyers. What exactly is an iBuyer?
So an iBuyer are real estate companies that buy and sell properties using technology. You know, they emerge on the scene after, let's say, sensing a need within the community. And that need could be as much as noticing how complicated a transaction could be for a buyer. And instead of having that buyer go through all of those processes, they come in and say, here's the money, we'll buy your house, have a nice day.
Okay, that sounds pretty easy. It sounds like a good deal. Is there anything we should be aware of? Is it really too easy, too good to be true?
It's easy, okay? And we've all heard there's no free lunch.
True.
Yeah, so in this arena, there is no free lunch. They're going to make it easy for you. There's no doubt about it. Imagine you're going to move, right?
Okay.
And you're like, I don't want to lift that couch. I don't want to move that china. I don't want to take the pictures off the wall. I want somebody to come in and move for me. Nobody's doing it for free, right?
True.
Same with the iBuyer.
Okay.
Okay. So there's a cost to this. Normally, it's around 25% off of a fair market value in a marketplace.
That's a big hit for somebody looking to sell.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you look at it, and if you're going to put your house on the market for sale, normally a commission is, and they're all different, so we're not price fixing here or anything like that, it's around 6%, and then around 1% for closing costs, usually. So that's about 7%. So the real difference with the iBuyer is about 18% is really what you're losing.
That adds
Not 25, you're losing 18%.
Okay.
Okay, so let's make sure we're talking about apples and apples, not apples and bananas, okay?
Okay, fair.
So if you can afford for ease, or you're willing to pay 18% of the fair market value of your house to somebody to make it easy, then the iBuyer is the perfect way to go.
Okay. But now, let's say I don't like leaving 18% on the table.
You and me both. I work too hard for my money, right?
Right. I don't like the idea of leaving 18% on the table. So if I don't want to do that, then I need to look for a local expert like you. And how does that benefit me?
So when you're working with a real estate agent who is what we like to call in the industry hyper-local, we know how far it is to the dry cleaners. We know how far it is to the restaurants. We know how far it is to the emergency care. We know how far it is to the best school in the area. We know how far it is to the beauty parlor. Okay, I always lose my way to the beauty parlor, but that's a different story for a different time. So the hyperlocal agent then can represent your house to the general public and market all of the benefits and features that your house has, which would allow you to receive more money in your pocket after closing. Okay, now, if you don't want to take the time to market your house correctly, with a real estate agent who's hyper-local, can point out all the features and benefits of living in this house, then maybe an iBuyer would be the way to go. Remember, though, you're losing 16, 18, maybe 19% on that, okay? I believe I work too hard for my money. I believe in a $500,000 sale, 15%, $75,000.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money to leave on the table, right?
That's a really nice vacation.
That's like 4 pairs of shoes for my wife.
True.
Yeah.
I guess, and then my other question is, an iBuyer, we're talking about it's a big company. Let's say obviously people don't buy and sell homes all the time, so you need a little more guidance. I know with our team, there's 6 different people that are on call all the time. So I'm assuming then you get a more personal experience. You get a little bit more with a local person versus an iBuyer. Like, is the process going to be explained as well with an iBuyer?
No, the iBuyer will say, well, there's this fee and there's that fee and there's this fee, and this is our discounted price. And sometimes with the iBuyers, they're going to want you to use their title company. They're going to want you to use their lender if you're going to rebuy something in the future, okay? This is where a lot of the real money is made for the iBuy companies, is the title fees and then the lending fees that are associated with somebody who's selling and buying. Not everybody is buying, they're just selling, okay? Then there are the avenues with an iBuyer where they price your house with a broad brush. Okay, so they'll go into and do their own research and usually go on local assessor's office to get all the information, or the local MLSs, because a lot of the iBuyers are tied into our MLSs, but you have Realtor.com and you have the Zillow and other brokerages. They're all tied into our IDX. So they can see generally what is selling. What they're missing, though, is the intricacies of your house, the views of the mountains, the views of the golf course, the convenience to the bus stops, the cul-de-sacs and the quietness, the fact that I'm not on a certain highway, the fact that my backyard doesn't face to the south or to the west, where in the summertime it's really brutal, the fact that I'm on a ridge so I get better views of downtown Tucson or LA or wherever, okay? So being a hyperlocal agent allows them to price your house better. Now, to take all of this and try and make it easy for the average person to understand, they're going to price your house at $300,000 and then take 25% off it, and that's what they're going to get. But a hyperlocal agent may realize that the house is really worth about $350,000.
Okay.
So not only are you losing that 25%, but in this case, you're losing another $6,000.
Right.
Which is like, what, 18%? Another 6 of the price, because they didn't price it right to begin with. They'll show you all this generalized data and say, okay, well, basically, your house is worth $300,000. We're going to take 25% away. Here's $225,000. When really the houses could be priced at $350,000.
Okay, so it sounds like then if I have done some great improvements, if I have, like you said, good views, if I have something special about my house, then I really need to be careful, and I really need to get the advice of a local expert.
Absolutely, without a doubt. I mean, look, if you want just a general practitioner to look over your body and say, how you doing? That's great. But if you've got a lump in your head, you want to go to the brain surgeon to find out if that's a tumor, right? As
true,
Arnold
yeah.
would say, right? That's where you want to go. You want to go to the specific, intelligent, well-versed individual to solve your problem. Hey everyone, we want to interrupt this episode to let you know that we are a Keller Williams Southern Arizona franchise.
Also, we are licensed realtors practicing equal housing.
Now, let's get you back to the podcast.
Right. And I mean, I always think more information is great. So worst case, get a local expert out there, get an idea, see what it'll really look like, and then compare it to the iBuyer. Now, let's say somebody decides that really the iBuyer is the way for them to go. Are you able to still help them with anything?
So absolutely. So I say never enter a transaction without you being represented, okay? So with an iBuyer purchase, you can't be represented by a real estate agent. That's who you should be represented by, or maybe an attorney, depending on what state you're in.
Okay.
But be represented. Don't go into a negotiation not being represented. It's always good to have another pair of eyes on a situation. And a pair of eyes that understand the market. So if you're going into this negotiations, and let's say you hire us or another real estate agent, because we're not, let's say you're in LA, and we don't sell in LA. We got great agents in LA, but we don't sell there. Let's say you're going to that negotiation and the iBuyer comes in and says, your house is worth $300,000, so we're going to do this. Your agent, who hopefully will be representing you because you've agreed to work with them, come back and say, well, here's our documentation. Says this house in the general market should sell for $350,000. So if you want to take your 25% off, take it off at the $350,000. Don't take it off at the $300,000.
Okay, so I can still go in, I can still negotiate, I can still be represented so I don't feel lost in the transaction.
Exactly.
But still, if an iBuyer need to get out quickly, need to move quickly, if that's the best way to go, I can utilize that, but not feel lost in the transaction.
So I'm going to share a different line of business, but the same concept.
Okay.
You have a claim on your insurance company. You go to your insurance company and say to the insurance company this, and then they come back with a figure minus depreciation, and that didn't really have any value done, and they give you this tiny check. What's your recourse? You can hire a public adjuster. Okay, who will fight for you and go back to the insurance company with a third-party documentation, which gives you more firepower to increase your settlement from the insurance company. It's the same thing with the iBuyers and having an agent. The agent can come with the supporting documentation, especially if they're a hyper-local agent. Okay, so you may not hire somebody from Abilene to come in and market in Tucson, okay? But you'd hire a local specific agent in Tucson or Washington, D.C., if that's where you're from. That person then has the firepower to go to the iBuyer and say, look, based upon this information, we believe you should be basing your price off of this dollar figure, the 350 in our example, versus the 300,000. You may still work with that iBuyer, but the agent's going to be able to help you get more money.
Okay.
Yep.
So it sounds to me then, if somebody's looking to sell, first thing to do is to contact your local real estate expert, get an opinion from them, talk to them, possibly compare it to the iBuyer program if that's what you're looking to do. Should, for whatever reason, iBuyer be the better option for you, still rely on that local expert to represent you to make sure that you are getting the top dollar for your house.
Absolutely, and some people may say, well, why would the agent work with me? Well, when we work with those iBuyers, normally they'll pay us a comparable commission. It's not the same full commission, but it's a comparable commission that because we've helped the process along.
So they could get representation and not come out of pocket for it.
Right.
Even better.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, us as real estate agents, full disclosure, we don't get paid as much from the iBuyer. We understand that going in. We're doing it more because these are our clients and we want to protect their assets.
Okay.
Okay. And we understand that they have a need and the iBuyer is trying to fill the need. I have a need, but I don't want to give my house away.
Right.
I'll take the discount price, but I want it off a fair market price.
Okay.
I don't want to pay I don't want to get paid on a discount of a discount.
That makes sense to me. Yeah.
And then the other aspect is, if you can work with the real estate agent, and if you can take a little bit of time to get a lot more money, really weigh that out. Than the quick, I'm going to call it instant gratification of a quick sale.
Right, because the local expert can sit there with you and walk through what the sale would look like. And at least in my experience, oftentimes it's not as strenuous and difficult as somebody's anticipating.
No.
If you've got a good local expert, they can walk you through it, and really it should be pretty minimally disruptive to your life, even if you're still living there.
Yep. Jill, we've got a seller's guide and a buyer's guide that you can just contact us. You can contact us at marketing@thetjkteam.com. We'll be more than happy to send those flyers out or those guides out to you, and you can look at them, and it shows you the process of selling and also shows you the process of buying and the simple steps that we try and make it very easy, very simple, and a 5-star experience for you.
Exactly. Yep. Our goal is to make it as simple and easy for you as possible.
Yep.
The idea is that you just, bring us in, we market, we sell, we, get it under contract, negotiate for you, get you the top dollar, and then you walk away to your new home.
Yep. We are a marketing company using technology and experience of licensed and unlicensed real estate agents to make this a 5-star seamless transaction for you if you choose to work with us. And Jill, we'll put a link to the notes we have here and also to our guides, our buyer guides and our seller guides and relocation guides too.
Perfect. So they can just click on the link below and get some great information to get them started.
You got it.
Hey, thank you for listening and watching the Nitty Gritty podcast here with the Tom J. Krieger team. If you are thinking about buying a home, selling a home, or even investing in real estate, please reach out to us. We are local here in Tucson, Arizona, but we are also connected to over 4,000 agents across the US. So again, looking to buy, sell, or invest in your hometown, reach out to us and let us connect you.